Outside the heavy, closed gates, Hong Kong was a relentless symphony of kinetic energy. Trams ringing, hawkers calling, the air thick with the smell of jasmine tea and sea salt. Yet here, tucked away on a forgotten slope of a mid-level cemetery hill, the Tung Phuc Tong Funeral Home stood as a monolith of absolute silence. It was a place of granite and deep shadow, resisting the tropical clamor with a terrifying finality. Everyone said I was insane to take the job. They spoke of the mortuary in hushed tones, calling it the Cold House, a place with roots deeper than the colonial-era banyans that clawed at its walls. But for me, Lee Wai, a medical school dropout drowning in debt, the money was irresistible. The nocturnal silence, the lack of human interaction, and the surprisingly substantial salary were the perfect narcotic for my shame and desperation. I was 22, and my new life would begin when the city's life retreated. On that first sweltering evening, the humidity clinging to my shirt like a shroud, I met Mr. Mack. The proprietor was a thin, imposing man dressed in a dark, traditional changshan. His face was a landscape of deep-set wrinkles, and his eyes, dark and flat like polished obsidian, held a knowledge that seemed to predate the building itself. When he spoke, his voice was a dry, brittle whisper that barely disturbed the oppressive air. "This is not a hospital, Lee Wai," Mr. Mack said, leading me through the labyrinthine halls. "The bodies here are already at rest. We merely facilitate that rest." The tour was chillingly brief. The preparation room, sterile and smelling faintly of chemicals and old incense. The ancestral shrine, where rows of photographs watched us with vacant intensity. And finally the chilling chamber, the heart of the operation. It was a cavern of stainless steel and brilliant, uncompromising fluorescent light. The cold hit me like a physical blow, a stark antiseptic contrast to the sticky heat outside. "Your duties are simple," he stated, his breath fogging slightly in the cold air. "From 10 until 6, monitor the chamber's temperature, meticulously log every hour, and prepare any new arrivals before Aling begins the morning shift." He paused, his gaze sweeping over the rows of numbered steel lockers. "You must be diligent, especially between 3 and 4 a.m. This is the time when the veil is thinnest, the hour of the dark beast. Look not into the shadows of that hour, for something often looks back." He presented me with a thick, yellowed piece of parchment, protected by a modern layer of plastic lamination. The list was handwritten in elegant, precise Chinese characters, each stroke imbued with solemn weight. "These are the rules of Tung Phuc Tong," Mr. Mack said, his tone dropping to a guttural register. "They are not suggestions, Lee Wai. They are an ancient pact, earned by those who paid the toll before you. To violate them is to invite consequence greater than death."